Subscribe to my channel Report Stock.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into something central to the whole AI boom, a company called CRWV.
Right. Maybe not a household name for everyone listening, but absolutely critical behind the scenes.
Exactly. Yeah, you
Okay.
might not know their name, but they are crucial. And our source for this is CRWV's own recent press release. It covers their Q2 2025 financials, plus some pretty big strategic announcements.
Yeah, there's a lot packed in there. A really dense release.
So our mission really is to cut through the corporate jargon, the financial tables, and help you understand what an AI hyperscaler actually is.
And how these companies are, well, fueling this AI revolution that we're all watching.
And what CRWV's performance tells us about the industry's trajectory, and their specific spot in it.
Yeah.
Get ready, because you might uncover some surprising facts about just the sheer scale of AI infrastructure today.
Okay, so CoreWeave calls itself the AI hyperscaler. That's a trademark and everything. That's a bold claim. Let's unpack that. What does that actually mean?
And why is it different from, say, your standard cloud provider? Why does that matter for AI?
That's the key question, really. They aren't just another general cloud company. Their whole identity, and they state this pretty clearly, is providing a cloud platform with cutting-edge software powering the next wave of AI.
Right.
And it's built specifically for accelerated computing. That's the crucial part.
Accelerated computing.
Yeah. The CEO, Michael Intrater, he emphasizes this. He talks about meeting unprecedented demand for AI, and that they want to be the platform of choice for the world's most advanced AI workloads and AI pioneers.
So really specialized.
Exactly. Designed from the ground up for the kind of intense, specific, number-crunching AI models need. It's like building a dedicated high-speed rail line just for AI, not a regular road network.
That makes sense. And they're not brand new either, right? This sounds specialized, but they've been around.
No, not at all. They've been operating data centers, growing their footprint across the US and Europe since 2017.
And they've got some recognition, too. Time 100 influential companies, Forbes Cloud 100, both in 2024.
Yeah, they've built credibility. And connecting this back for you, the listener, understanding why a specialized AI hyperscaler matters is key to grasping the whole AI landscape. It's not just about being a bit faster. It's about infrastructure built only for AI's unique, frankly, enormous demands.
Right.
Demands that general cloud platforms can struggle with. This specialization is really enabling the speed of AI progress we're seeing.
Okay, let's dive into the financials then, because looking at the top line, the revenue numbers are pretty eye-catching. CoreWeave reported, what was it, $12,212,788 in revenue for Q2 2025.
Yep, just over $1.2 billion.
Which is a huge jump from Q2 2024's $395 million. Massive growth.
Definitely.
But then you look a bit deeper. At the standard accounting, the GAAP numbers and the operating income actually went down.
Right.
From about $77 million profit to just $19 million. And the margin dropped from 20% to 2%. They even reported a net loss.
Yeah, a loss of about $290 million.
So that seems like a direct contradiction. How do you get that massive revenue growth, but a GAAP loss? What's going on there?
That's a really crucial point. And it comes down to the difference between GAAP and non-GAAP measures, especially in these high-growth, super capital-intensive industries.
Like building massive data centers.
Exactly. GAAP accounting often makes companies expense huge upfront investments immediately. Think buying tons of the latest, very expensive NVIDIA GPUs, building out new facilities,
Right.
even though the revenue from those assets rolls in over time. So the GAAP figures reflect those massive costs now. But if you look at their non-GAAP figures, specifically adjusted EBITDA.
Right. Adjusted EBITDA, what does that show?
It shows substantial growth. It went up to $753 million in Q2 2025 compared to about $250 million the year before.
Wow, okay.
And they maintained a really strong 62% adjusted EBITDA margin.
62%.
Yeah. So this figure strips out things like depreciation, amortization, stock-based compensation, other non-cash or one-off items. It gives you a clearer view of the actual cash flow their core operations are generating.
So operationally, underneath those big investments, it's very healthy.
Incredibly healthy. It suggests the core business engine is strong and profitable, and it's fueling that expansion, even if JAP shows a loss due to the investment scale.
And you can definitely see that investment reflected elsewhere, like the interest expense. That jumped significantly from around $67 million to $267 million.
It's a big jump.
Yeah. Suggests they're borrowing quite a bit to fund all this building.
Makes sense given the scale.
And then there's this other figure, the revenue backlog. $30.1 billion as of the end of June 2025.
Yeah, that number is just, wow.
30.1 billion. So what exactly is revenue backlog for a company like this? And why is that number so significant, not just for CoreWeave, but maybe for the whole AI sector?
Okay, so revenue backlog is basically committed future revenue. It's money they expect to get from contracts they've already signed with customers.
So it's locked in, essentially.
Pretty much. It represents future business already secured and a backlog that massive, $30 billion. It tells you a couple of things. First, huge long-term demand for this specialized AI infrastructure. Customers are signing multi-year, multi-billion-dollar deals.
Right.
Second, it shows CoreWeave is incredibly well-positioned to capture that demand. It underscores this isn't just a short-term hype cycle. You know, these massive long-term commitments, they feel a bit like the early days of the internet build-out. Laying fiber, huge infrastructure bets.
Interesting comparison. So building all this capacity is one thing, but who's actually using it? Who are these customers signing these huge deals?
Yeah, the customer list is really revealing.
They mentioned a $4 billion expansion deal with OpenAI.
Right, and that's on top of an earlier $11.9 billion deal they announced.
So carry the one.
Yep.
That's $15.9 billion just from OpenAI.
It's from OpenAI. And they also mentioned signing and expanding a deal with another unnamed hyperscaler customer during the quarter.
Okay, so big players are definitely involved.
Absolutely. But it's broader than that, too. The release lists a whole range of AI labs and enterprises. You've got Cohere, Hippocratic AI, Hologen, Mistral, Moon Valley, Novel.
Some familiar names in AI research there.
Definitely. And also enterprises like Woven by Toyota, BT Group, LG CNS.
For VT Group, like British Telecom.
Yeah. So it shows the demand isn't just from, pure AI startups. It's spanning research, enterprise applications, big established companies.
Right. AI is filtering into lots of different areas.
It really speaks to how widespread the need for this kind of compute is becoming.
And they even have a unique example. CoreWeave is the official AI cloud computing partner of the Aston Martin Aramco Formula One team.
Yeah. High-performance computing for high-performance racing. Makes sense.
It certainly gives you a tangible feel for it. Okay, let's talk scale again. Infrastructure scale. They ended the quarter with about 470 megawatts of active power.
Active power, yeah.
And they increased their total contracted power by another 600 megawatts,
Right.
bringing the total they have secured access to up to 2.2 gigawatts.
2.2 gigawatts.
So megawatts, gigawatts.
Yeah.
Help us visualize that. What does that mean in terms of AI power needs?
Okay, these are measures of electrical capacity. Think of it like the size of the pipe delivering electricity to their data centers. And 2.2 gigawatts. That's an enormous amount of power. We're talking roughly the output of, say, 2 large nuclear power plants.
Wow, just for their contracted compute?
Just dedicated to running AI compute infrastructure. It really hammers home the massive energy demands of modern AI.
Yeah, no kidding.
They are literally building the power infrastructure for the AI future. It's not just virtual, it's deeply physical.
And technology-wise, they highlight being the first to bring NVIDIA GB200 and VL72 systems online for customers at scale,
The latest and greatest from NVIDIA.
including for big names like Cohere, IBM, and Mistral AI. And they've got general availability of the B200 instances too.
Yeah.
So what makes these NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs, the GB200s, so important for AI? And that first-to-scale claim, is that a durable advantage? Does it really lock things up for them?
Well, the Blackwell GPUs, like the GB200, they represent the absolute cutting edge right now for AI computation. They're designed for the huge, complex models everyone's trying to build and train. They offer significant performance leaps.
Faster training, bigger models.
Exactly, which means faster innovation cycles for their customers. Now, being first to scale, that's a big deal in this market.
Why is that?
It gives their customers, the AI pioneers, access to the best tools before anyone else. It creates this flywheel effect.
Okay.
Top AI labs need the best hardware. CoreWeave provides it first, so more top labs come to CoreWeave, which lets CoreWeave order more cutting-edge hardware.
Reinforcing their position.
Precisely. Now, is it a permanent advantage? Probably not in tech. Things move fast. But right now, it's a significant competitive edge. It widens the gap between the compute haves and have-nots.
Makes them a very attractive partner if you're serious about leading-edge AI.
Definitely.
Okay, and they also mentioned something called MLPerf, their largest ever MLPerf training v5.0 submission.
Right.
And the numbers were kind of wild. 34x larger than other submissions and 4.5x more performant than the best GB200 submission from any other enterprise.
Yeah, those are eye-popping benchmark numbers.
So what is MLPerf, and what do results like that actually tell us? Is it just bragging rights?
It's more than bragging rights, though they probably enjoy those too. MLPerf is basically an industry-standard benchmark suite. It's designed to measure the performance of systems for machine learning tasks, specifically training complex models.
So an independent measuring stick.
Exactly. And submitting the largest ever benchmark and achieving that kind of performance advantage, even against other systems using the same cutting-edge GB200 hardware, it demonstrates that CoreWeave's platform isn't just big, it's also incredibly efficient and well-optimized.
So their whole stack, hardware, software, networking, is working really well together at massive scale.
Yeah. That's what it suggests. It's a strong validation of their platform's capability for handling the most demanding AI workloads out there.
Now, it's clear the hardware and infrastructure are foundational.
Yeah.
But they're not stopping there, right? They're moving into software too.
Mm-hmm.
They completed acquisition of Weights and Biases, W&B. For those tracking the AI dev space, what does Weights and Biases bring to the table for CoreWeave?
Weights and Biases is a really well-regarded platform in the machine learning development world. It provides tools that developers desperately need. Things like tracking experiments, managing data sets, collaborating on models, visualizing results. MLOps, basically.
Okay, so the tools around the model building.
Exactly. This acquisition is significant. It shows CoreWeave is moving strategically beyond just providing the raw compute power. They want to offer a more complete end-to-end solution for AI developers, make it easier to actually use all that compute effectively.
So integrating the tools with the infrastructure.
Right. Moving up the stack, you could say.
And they've already launched some new products tied to this.
Yeah, they moved fast.
There's mission control integration, described as a groundbreaking cluster health management system. Real-time insights, remediation tips for CoreWeave clusters available through W&B models.
Mm-hmm. Monitoring and managing those huge GPU clusters.
Then there's W&B Inference, powered by CoreWeave Cloud, a simple way to access and explore open-source AI models.
Lowering the barrier to entry for using popular models.
And W&B Weave online evaluations, giving real-time insights into how AI agents are performing in production.
Which is crucial for actually deploying these things reliably.
So how do these tools make life easier for AI developers? What's the impact for you if you're building AI?
Well, they address the entire life cycle, from experimenting and training, which W&B already helped with, to monitoring the underlying hardware clusters with mission control, to easily deploying models with W&B Inference, and then tracking their real-world performance with online evaluations.
It connects all the dots.
Exactly. Instead of just giving you like a super powerful engine, they're now providing the dashboard, the diagnostics, the fuel management system, everything you need to actually drive the car effectively.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Streamlining the whole workflow. Let's circle back quickly to infrastructure expansion because there was another big announcement there.
Right, the New Jersey Data Center.
A joint venture for a new campus in Kenilworth, New Jersey. Capacity up to 250 megawatts.
Another huge chunk of power.
And they call this their first greenfield, purpose-built AI data center project. Expected to come online starting in 2026.
Yeah.
What does greenfield purpose-built mean here? Why is that phrasing significant?
Greenfield basically means building from scratch on previously undeveloped land, as opposed to, say, renovating an existing building, which would be brownfield.
Okay.
And purpose-built for AI means it's designed from the ground up, every aspect of it, specifically for the unique needs of AI workloads.
Like cooling, power density.
Exactly. Things like high-density power delivery, advanced cooling systems to handle tightly packed hot GPUs, network architecture optimized for AI traffic patterns. Building greenfield lets you optimize everything without the constraints of an existing structure. It signifies a really serious, long-term strategic investment in having the absolute best possible infrastructure.
No compromises based on adapting older designs.
Right. Maximum efficiency and power, designed purely for AI from day one.
And finally, funding all this, they raised more capital.
Mm-hmm.
$2 billion in 9.25% senior unsecured notes due 2030. And that deal was actually upsized by $500 million because demand was so strong.
Yeah. Investors were clearly eager.
What does that tell us
Mm-hmm.
about investor confidence, about their financial strategy behind this breakneck expansion?
Well, first, the strong demand, leading them to upsize the offering, shows significant investor confidence. Confidence in CoreWeave's strategy, their execution, and crucially, in the underlying market demand for AI compute.
Investors believe the AI boom is real and CoreWeave is well placed.
That's the signal, yes. Raising $2 billion in debt like this allows them to fund these massive expansion plans, the new data centers, buying more GPUs, the W&B acquisition. It fuels the growth engine. And the fact they could raise it as unsecured notes at that rate suggests the market sees them as a pretty solid bet, despite the capital intensity.
So the money's there to keep building at speed.
It certainly seems so.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. What does this deep dive into CoreWeave's Q2 mean for you, the listener, who's trying to stay on top of the cutting edge of AI?
Well, I think.
These results, they really paint a picture, don't they? A company just scaling incredibly aggressively to meet what seems like truly insatiable demand for AI infrastructure.
Absolutely.
And they're doing it by blending that raw physical power, gigawatts of it, with increasingly sophisticated software tools to make it all usable.
Yeah, the core insight here, I think, is that watching companies like CoreWeave is like having a finger on the pulse of the entire AI industry's health and trajectory. Their growth, their investments, the scale they're operating at, it's a critical barometer.
It shows the sheer level of resources being poured into building the foundations for AI.
Exactly. It's tangible proof of the massive investment happening and how quickly specialized computing power is being deployed. It shows AI moving firmly from, academic models into massive, power-hungry, industrial-scale reality.
So, Mary, a final thought to leave you with. Given CoreWeave's incredible expansion, these massive investments in physical infrastructure, specialized hardware, what is the ultimate limiting factor here? Is it still just about getting enough computing power, enough GPUs? Or are we starting to see other potential bottlenecks emerge that you should be watching? Things like perhaps the sheer energy consumption involved,
That's a big one.
or supply chain limitations for all this advanced hardware, or maybe even finding enough skilled people, the talent, to build and run all this stuff.
Yeah.
What's the next big hurdle for the continued growth of the AI industry? Something to think about.
Subscribe to my channel Report Stock.